Hi everybody, I'm Arya. I've probably been out of prison for about 9 months now. This is probably the longest.
No, it's been longer than that. It's been almost a year.
Almost a year, alright.
In 1 month it'll be a year.
Alright, 1 month with her, she knows better than me. So this is the longest I've been out of prison in all my life. All my life, literally. Yeah. So because my life has been in the institutional bubble, I've come from foster home, orphanages, group homes. I've come from every facet of the street life, from, you know, being homeless, drug dealer, to gang member, still affiliated gang member. I refuse to disaffiliate because I don't feel that those that are gang members are bad. I just feel that maybe a lot of their energies are misdirected. A lot of the stuff there is misguided aggression, hurt, anger due to a society that we live in, social economic class statuses. A lot of the things that I had to learn about when I was incarcerated, sitting in high security in a box, probably about 8 paces or 12 paces forward and maybe my arm's length, 23-hour lockdown for behavioral reasons. And I also do sex work. I've been doing sex work on and off all my life, also because of when I was younger, past trauma, to the point where I was in group homes. You know, you talk about, you know, House of Hope and all these organizations that supposedly do good. One thing that I know that is never spoken about is how the teens that do sex work inside these group homes, that a term that I learned lately is called survival work. And what is not spoken about is how, for a lot of them, that work is done to escape oppression that they find of themselves inside the group homes, if not by the very staff members that are so-called there to protect them, to guide them, to love them, to care for them, but also those that have been victimized themselves. And I happen to be one of those persons where I was taken out of abusive family, that moved down from New York, Brooklyn, and very, 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 very violent atmosphere to one that was supposed to have been deemed, you know, protective and caring and nurturing, when the name of the place, by the way, is called St. Aloysius, notorious for its sexual abuse and other abuses. And so a week into this, you know, this hall of protection, I was raped by 4 boys. And then when I went and told the staff, instead of, you know, being consoled and, you know, like heard or even listened to, I got the weirdest fucking shit in my head. Like, when I look back at it now, like how everything like manifested, like I'm in the hall outside the Braves, and I got this person who's sitting down here and I'm sitting on their lap. And as I think of it at that time, I didn't think nothing, yet I was scared because I was already assaulted, I was already violated, and nobody's asking me, am I okay? All I'm doing is feeling my legs being rubbed, my thighs being rubbed, and from that point on, moving into an adoption that was so fucking toxic for 5 years, very violent, very physical, very racist. I was a prisoner, I was a slave to these fucking people. And not until I went to a group home, I refused to go back there, and I went to a group home where I find boys crawling into my bed 2, 3 in the morning. And to the point where by the time I was 13, I wouldn't even say anything. I would just like, let you fuck the shit out of me, do what you gotta do and go your way, because didn't know how to handle it. So I would let it happen, and I would run away, and I was told, you know, I'm misbehaving, and when I try to address it, it just went in one ear and out the other. It's like these fucking people didn't get it. So I felt like the whole time as a youth, you know, in these places called group homes and shelters, is that the sexual violence there, the kids leaving and doing that work because it's something that they thought they were supposed to do. I ended up thinking, maybe I'm just supposed to be somebody's fucking cushion. And I ended up going to the streets and doing that myself, not knowing how, at that time, how to sell drugs, not knowing how to rob, not knowing how to steal. Everything that people may think, like, oh, why would you want to learn how to rob and steal? Well, at that time was better than giving up my ass. And once I did learn, you know, how to move in the streets and how to be violent, how to fight, it was the gangs. It was the gangs that fixed that. It was the gangs that stopped people. You know, this happens. You know, you let me know. We're gonna handle that, and showed me what justice looked like when we stomp a motherfucker to the ground for touching me, to the point where I became, you know, I became a reflection of all that anger, all that hate, all that, you know, all that trauma that everybody, you know, had put on me, that they went through themselves. I just reflected it, and I ended up finding myself doing the sex work, doing the gang work, coming in and out of penitentiaries, not having anyone to talk to, not having anyone to go to, until, long story short, I go to prison years later, and I start reading books and start open up my eyes to a great many revolutionaries who I admire that also went through a lot of sex trauma in their lives, but came out, you know, like warriors, people who, you know, were out in the streets as well, who people would never know that they went through this stuff, and gave me, you know, the tools that I needed to navigate and, you know, to rise above my own oppression. And having, you know, grown into that sexual world that I relate to everything sexually, that I had to learn to separate like sex from love. I had to learn, you know, like if I lay with someone, that doesn't mean they love me. You know, I used to think that, like, oh, if you fuck me, that means you love me, you care about me, only to find out that's bullshit. So I had to learn all this stuff, and with no guidance, no teacher outside of a book. Like, I didn't have nobody there to like cut corners with me. It was the only thing I had there was violence. So, you know, Arya, you just swing on a motherfucker, just beat, and that's what we did, and I became good at it, very good at it. And as in my late teens, early adulthood, once I was at least able to separate that aspect of it from one prison sentence to the next, I ended up, you know, doing the work because I enjoyed it. I was able to separate my trauma from my sex work. I was able to separate love. I was able to put everything in the right boxes where they belonged and do me on my own terms, you know, regardless of what anybody thought. Like, I didn't give a fuck. You accept me, you love me, I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think about me, point blank, you know. But I know that now, having come out of prison after 11 years and going through warfare in the system with these people, having been the first trans woman to actually force them to allow people to transition while they was incarcerated, I set the path for those to follow, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that, and I continue to work today towards working with Trans Lifeline, which is my employer. Now I not only was able to set the tone here at the ACI, but now I'm able to reach out throughout the nation to help other trans women with document change, all peoples that are sex workers, all peoples that are marginalized and disenfranchised and you know, just fucking oppressed. And when it comes to sex workers coming from the penitentiary, coming back out into the streets, we represent everything from, you know, the detainees to the people of color, to you know, being poor, to being raped, to, you know, to having housing issues, to having clothing issues, to having food issues. Like, a sex worker is all those problems that society, you know, chooses to shit on, and then at the same time pretends to want to lend a hand to, you know. That is me, I am them. Probably for a lot of us, this is us. But I had to learn, you know, a while back that I'm not what you call me, I'm what I respond to. And with that in mind, I had to remember that, like, I don't give a fuck about the labels. I don't care what people say or think about me. I'm just gonna move in my own zone. And when I came out of prison, I went to a lot of organizations, and these organizations, like, really lent their hands out to me. This very building, the people that are here, Sarath, a lot of the Amor staff, like, they really opened their arms to me, as well as Bella and COYOTE, when, like, asked nothing of me, asked, like, you know, just, you know, would you be able to give yourself, you know, and make an effort to, you know, like, help me, you know, be heard out here and you know, make change. And so I took that with a smile and said, yo, you know, let's get it cracking out this bitch. Let's, you know, let's you know, let's be that voice, let's be that organization, and maybe to network with other organizations to you know, be a power and force where, you know, not only are these issues divided, like we only work with, you know, detainees here and trans women here and sex workers and housing, like, let's bring all this shit together and be like a one solid foundation and rock and move as a force of nature and just smash this oppressive bullshit, because it's like, if it's done any other way, it's shown like to not work. So I can only see, like, community, I can only see organization, and that's the center from which I move in, community. And I feel that since I've been out now, continuing to do the work, that I have that now. I have that community. I have those peoples that, you know, when I hit my low, that they're not judging me, that they're there to, you know, to help me. I'm real emotional right now because I'm so fucking angry, and I want to fight and I want to knock a motherfucker out, but I can't revert to that person that I was, because, you know, it'll only bring me back to where I was to have to continue to do that shit. But this is about sex workers, and so this is about me, and I am that. So, you know, if people have, you know, issues with sex workers, or what does it look like, or how does that, you know, relate to, you know, the carceral state or homelessness? Well, you're looking at it. I was every single one of those things, and now rising from that bullshit, you know, I'm one of those peoples that won't tolerate the bullshit as well. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to sidestep. I'm not going to, you know, hide. I want to fight this thing facing forward, and with an army of us willing to give our lives to this shit, because people are dying. People are suffering. I got trans women that are in there that are suffering, that are being locked up for fucking putting makeup on their face. Like, they're being sent to SEG for putting makeup on their face, or for wearing a thong. You know, and then going there only to be further assaulted and abused, and then to maybe lose a bit of their insanity. I mean, their sanity to the system, and doing bodily harm, cutting themselves. Like, I seen all this, and having seen that, like I promised, like in every fiber of my being, that I was gonna come out here and be that voice. And I believe to the best of my ability. I'm still trying to learn how I can be more effective, but I just need all of y'all to like really give a fuck about not only sex workers, but goddamn human beings, because like sex work is just the job. It's not who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? It's just the work that I do. You want to label me? That's the problem with this bullshit ass system. And I've been labeled an offender, a criminal, a convict, a banger, this and that. Everything but a human being. Everything but Arya. You know what I mean? And nobody ever asks, well, what do you want to be? Who are you? You know, it's just, and you've been telling me who the fuck I am. Now I'm telling you who the fuck I am.
Yes.
And so, my thing is now is to help others have that same voice and not to move in that circle of fear. There are people that are suffering right now. There are people that are cutting themselves right now. There are people that are wiping feces on themselves right now. There are women out there who are dying just because they're black, they're brown, and they have breasts and something swinging between their legs, and they're looking sexy, and they're saying, hey, and a motherfucker got an issue with that. And so they deserve a bullet in the head. I pray for the motherfucker to attempt to do that to me. Trust me, I have so many people willing and ready to go to war. And I don't speak. I'm speaking truth when I say that. I just want us to like really remember these people, to remember us, and to humanize us, and to like whatever differences organizations have or whatever, like put them shits aside and just start saving lives. Like. Give a fuck about one another on some real shit. Like really move from that center and be about that action. I'm out.